The Colorado Avalanche training camp has begun, and I've been told, Zach, that means hockey is right around the corner.
I
So let's talk
believe
about that.
right
Yeah,
around the corner.
I think so. Let's talk about it. New episode of Locked On Avalanche coming at you.
Your Locked On Avalanche, your daily podcast on the Colorado Avalanche. Part of the Locked On Podcast Network. Your team every day.
All right, everybody. Welcome to another episode of Locked On Avalanche, part of the Locked On Podcast Network. Your team every day. I'm your host, Chris Maselli. With me, as always, Mr. Zach Pearson. Thank you for tuning in, making this your first listen of the day. Always appreciate it. If you want to get in on the conversation, then join our subtext. No better time than to do that now with the season right around the corner. The link is in the show notes below. Chat with Zach and I one-on-one. Get your opinion, everything Avalanche related, and share it on this very podcast. For today's episode, we will be diving into an athletic player poll type of thing. I love when they do these things. So we're going to kind of jump into that. That'll take up like the second half of the episode. But we figured day one of training camp, Jared Bednar met the media again, obviously. So why not start there? And you had your two groups that they rolled out. I'm going to put up the groups if you're watching over on YouTube. We might as well just throw that up there right now. I know it's a little bit small, but there were the two groups that ran out for the Avs in the two different sessions that they had. The thing that jumped out to me right away, Zach, was in group one, you have on that top line, along with Marty Nashis, Nathan McKinnon, you have Val Nichushkin on that first line. And then your first line for group two was Gabe, Brock, and Lehkonen. So I know it's day one. I know we have a long way to go, but it's not out of the ordinary. I mean, Val could easily play on the top line. You just saw Arturi up there a lot more, and you saw that second line of Gabe, Brock, and Val in the playoffs a lot more. I thought that would carry over. Still might, but here we are in day one.
We'll see how it goes. And I mean, that to me almost feels like Bednar's already blundering, but I do like Val on that top line because I really like his forecheck. I like the pressure that he can put on just opposing teams in the offensive zone a lot of times. And I know like Arturi's actually really good at that too. So I think either one of those guys are pretty interchangeable on that spot. It'll be interesting to see who's actually sitting there at both the beginning and the end of game one.
Yeah, and like we said, like things change. You know, he's gonna that will be a line. Those two lines will be a thing at some point. Will that be the everyday line? Obviously, remains to be seen. But I just in my head was just expecting day one. We're going with what we had last year, and he just wants to switch it up for just day one. Why not see what you got? And then he did meet the media and talked about a good number of things. While you said that he said that he's going to blend the top line, he had talked about the depth, a good amount in this availability. And talked a lot about, what he wants to do with Colton. He just went on and on about the Drury, Kelly, and LOC line in the playoffs last year. And it was just like they were one of the best in the entire playoffs, even though they played the one round. So kind of he doesn't want to put Ross Colton in that center position. It's not where he wants to start. He's going to give it to Drury to start. And if he has to, if his hand is forced, he's going to make some changes, obviously. We've seen him do that so many times. But he kind of gave his reason why he likes guys like Parker Kelly and Logan O'Connor on the wings because of their forechecking abilities. And they're better when they can forecheck when they're playing the wing position. And that's how he wants to go into the season. And I completely understand that.
Yeah, and it definitely was a lot of praise for that line through the playoffs last season. He was all about that the Kelly Drury LOC line. Like that was his line. And I think he had a couple of pretty telling comments that he said he really thinks Drury can and probably should be, it sounded like to me, the 3C, because he called him an elite 4C,
I know,
which
right?
is, I mean, that's some pretty good praise there to be like, yeah, not all, like, I'm really happy with his play. So I think he's pretty high on giving him that opportunity. And again,
Yeah.
like we said on last episode, it sounds to me more and more like it's just entirely his spot to lose at 3C.
Would you want to be known as like a mediocre middle six guy or an elite fourth liner?
Elite fourth liner.
Just to have that title of as elite at something,
It's
or
not even elite. That to me though, because I feel like those fourth line guys, especially, like, those are the guys that you put out to be more like the gritty, they get under people's skin a lot of times. I feel like that's the ones where you're trying to put the pressure on. Those are the guys that you want to hold the puck in the offensive zone. Those, and I think that ends up generating more offense sometimes than even your like over the top skilled top line guys. So
Yeah.
I think I would, and maybe that's just because I know, should I even somehow make the NHL on some weird, twist of fate in the next few years, I would love to be that, because I know I'm not going to be a top 6 guy by any means. So I
You're
think
approaching
being
retirement
called,
age too. So
yeah, exactly. 1 month behind Tyson Barrie. I got to retire this month, I guess. No, I'd love to be the elite fourth line guy, because to me that really does feel like you're the guy that goes out there and does everything right. You are the trustworthy person. You are the guy driving really your offense when the talent, or the highest end talent, isn't on there. So I personally, I took that as crazy high praise.
Yeah, they obviously like him. He loves his game.
Yeah.
He kind of did talk about what to do in that 4C spot right now with Drury assumed being in the 3C spot. He likes Bardakov a lot. He likes his size, his ability. And he says right now it's pretty much between him, Prishapov, and Ivan.
Yep.
And then went on a little bit of a rant about Ivan. And that's what I like about Bednar, is just like he's got the calm, cool, collected nature about him, but he's also brutally honest.
Yeah.
And when he was asked about, Ivan, how when he went back down to the Eagles, he kind of just like interrupted the question and was just like, he wasn't good enough.
Yeah.
It wasn't good enough. And I didn't even think about it this way. Like he scored more points in the NHL than he did in the AHL.
Yeah.
I wasn't
Right?
even like computing that, which is bizarre to, and most of your games were in the AHL. But anyway, like I think he does. You have to, on some level, you're doing that to motivate guys, right? You're not like calling them out, throwing them out to the press, like, just throwing them to the wolves. But, Ivan hears that stuff. And if you're a professional, it motivates you. So he got some time last year. He looked pretty good at moments. And at least for this year, he's in the mix to take that 4C spot. But it seems like those 3 guys right now are the ones right there. And you just the way that he talks about Bardakov, it seems like maybe he's got the upper hand right now, day one.
It did kind of sound a little bit like that in the presser. I liked the comments that he made about Ivan. I think they were fair. I think they were pointed, and I think they got the point across on what he needs to see. Like, basically what I took from that is Ivan needs to show that he's indispensable at the NHL level. And part of that is when you have to play at the AHL level, you got to produce above those guys that aren't necessarily going to make it back up to the NHL. Right. So, I mean, I really feel like that was a really, because he still said too, he's like, when he played with us, he had really good games with the Avalanche, and then just not as good back down in the Eagles. Yeah. And you've got to be consistent. You've got to show me that you're the guy that we can rely on night in and night out. So I really like those, but he did seem to be really high on Bardakov, right? Like, just talking about how big he is, how like impressed he is with his game, likes the way he plays. I definitely got the impression that could be a guy that we see a little more often.
He might be to start the season. Yeah. I liked what he said about when he was talking about Ivan, he made a comment that, and kind of paraphrasing, it's like, so sometimes it's not up to him or Chris McFarland. It's up to the player to make the decision for us to bring you back up. Yep. And, I really like that, because it's like he puts it on them. It's like you're not just going to get brought up because you're expected to, or, maybe you're not playing. When you go back down, here are the things that you need to work on. And you better work on them. It's not just like, oh, you're going back down there, and then when you come back up, you'll work on those things. We want to see you work on those. That's why we're sending you down there.
Yep.
And, make the decision easy for us. You make the decision for us. So he's putting the onus back on the player. And sometimes players respond to that, and you want to see them. And when they do respond to that, that's when you reward them. So It's not Chris McFarland making the decision. It's not Jared Bednar making the decision. It's the player saying, I took those notes, went back down, worked on them, and now I'm forcing your hand to call me back up when the next player needs to get called up.
And I loved that. That was probably my favorite line from the entire presser today. The whole 11 whatever minutes of it was that line of, it's not always up to me. It's not always up to C-Mac. It's up to the player to make it that way. Because I do really believe, like, when you're competing in any level of sport, you have to make yourself indispensable. You have to be that person if you want that opportunity. And I think that was a great statement. I'd love to see Ivan respond to it and make himself indispensable, because I liked his game. So I'd love to see that happen. And trust me, one of the best problems we could have is, well, crap, which one of these AHL guys do we have up here right now? Because they're all playing at an NHL level. Like that would be a good problem to have.
Two more things I wanted to get to. One was Gavin Brinley had a lot of praise for him in the rookie camp. Said he thought he was the best player by far in that first game against Utah, and talked about Sam Malinski and about how he's going to be on that offside on that left side. And this is the funny thing, like we're talking about Ivan and how he sent him down and needs to be better is basically what he said. And I know I'm not comparing these two guys at all. I'm just saying, like, this is coaches. Like, there's some guys that they view differently, and Malinski's in a different spot of his career than Ivan. I'm not trying to say like, oh, he's saying this about Ivan. Why is Sam Malinski not in that same camp? It's apples and oranges. I get it. It's just I found it interesting that Ivan goes down. He's got to do better. Yes, he does. We're going to put Sam Malinski on the left-hand side, and we're going to give him a long leash.
Long leash was the exact words. Yep.
Yeah. And fine. I get that. But the last time we heard the long leash comment was when they put Alex Newhook at the 2C.
Yeah.
And that leash was not very long. It was by November. We were already mixing and matching, trying to find out what was going to work. And obviously nothing did. So I don't like that phrase because it's the last time we used it, it was not in a good spot. So I hope Sam Malinski gets the long leash. And obviously, if you listen to this show, you know how I feel about him. I think he's gonna have a great season. But when I heard that, I cringed a little bit because I remember the last time we threw that phrase around and it wasn't a good time.
Well, and that's fair. And I like, just to hit that real quick, I think his comments were very positive. Even more so positive than Ivan's comments that he made on Malinski was like how much he likes the game. And like, he's kind of the only guy that he feels they can move to that offside right now. I've mentioned a couple of other guys, specifically Brent Burns. I remember just saying like, I can't move him because he just
22
not
years.
Move.
He's never been here.
You're not going to move him to the other side now.
Right.
But I do like that he said, I believe in him. Essentially, I believe that he can do this. He's going to be the best guy to do this. And we're going to give him as much opportunity as we possibly can to get this correct. So I did like that. I do understand kind of the almost feels double standardy, but I thought those were, I like the way he laid that out as well.
It just shows you coaches have to take guys individually.
Yep.
You have to. It's nice to say like, oh, we treat everybody the same. You don't treat everybody the same. No. You don't treat superstars the way you treat, fourth line guys. Nothing against fourth line guys. You just don't. But I just found it interesting.
The elite fourth liner Jack Drury does not get the same treatment as the elite top liner Nathan
exactly.
McKinnon. Yeah.
I just found that interesting. In the same press conference, two guys are getting like different expectations. So
Yep.
that's where we are. All right. Let's dive into this athletic player poll and the questions that they threw out. Some fun stuff in there about who's the toughest D-man to play against and the Olympic sport they're most looking forward to. So let's do that next. Let's hear from FanDuel. The NFL season is here, and FanDuel is making sure that you are ready for kickoff with a can't-miss offer because right now new customers can bet just $5, and if that bet wins, you'll get $300 in bonus bets to use across the app. I'm not going to ask you about the Broncos, but can the Chiefs continue to be winless? I don't even know who they're playing this week. I didn't even bother to look it up because I don't care.
I do. It's the Giants, and they're playing Russell Wilson and the New York Giants in New York. And so this will be the 0-2 battle. And oh man,
for the ages.
I am rooting for Russell Wilson once again. It's been
that is
not
funny.
A phrase I thought I'd say, but let's go.
Bronco
Russ.
Fans are yes, let's ride.
Let Russ cook.
They're doing it again. So if you're ready to play, download the FanDuel app now by visiting FanDuel.com to get started. That is FanDuel.com and place that first $5 bet on the New York Football Jets today. Giants. Don't put it on the Jets because I watched them last week and that was horrible. All right. So this player poll, I love when The Athletic does this. They throw out some fun questions for some of the NHL players. Excuse me. So figured we'll bring these up. If you are watching over on YouTube, I'll throw the graphic up for each one. If you're not, don't worry about it. We'll read it and throw all this stuff out to you. So first one I'll bring up is obviously more geared towards the Avs and who's the NHL defenseman you find hardest to compete against. Cale Makar wins this one with 10 votes. Jacob Slavin is in there with 8 votes. Tied for second with other. So there's a list of guys that are also in there. But those are all the other are individual votes. So really he did finish second, I guess. Forsling is in there. Quinn Hughes is obviously in there, but he's only got 5, which is a little bit surprising. Hedman is still in there, and Essa Lindell with 2. So you figure Makar would be number 1, but Jacob Slavin with 8 right behind him, not far behind him.
And I like that because I think Slavin is a very good defensive defenseman. And I feel like in the article they even touched on it's hard to play against an offensive defenseman, but Jacob Slavin does a really good job of taking away any of your options in the defensive zone, clearing that puck out, getting it up the other way. He plays defense very well. I love to see true D-men getting recognized.
Yeah. Hiskinen's in there for he got 1 vote, but he's just one of those guys I thought would maybe have a few more.
Yeah. 2 or 3.
So yeah, interesting. So your kitty's joining us for the episode.
Yeah, so she's meowing at the door. I locked her out and she's mad.
Oh boy. Well, she wants a vote. She wants to get a vote in. So how about this one? I like this question. The top team on NHLers trade me here list. Number 1 by far is Florida. Everybody wants to go to the Stanley Cup champion. So you got 14 votes going there. Dallas in second, Tampa and Vegas behind that. The Rangers with 3 and the Avalanche get 2 votes. So they did make the list here. And then the others were 5 others between the Canucks. They all got 1 vote each. Canucks, Capitals, Jets, Maple Leafs, and Predators. Predators getting a vote. How about that? So yeah, the Avs make this, but if this is you, would you want to go just to the Stanley Cup champion? Just because?
It'd be hard to argue against that. Plus, everybody who plays for Florida basically just raves about how great it is playing for Florida. So you have back-to-back Stanley Cup championships, and apparently it is one of the top organizations to play for. Right. I can see why that one got so many votes. I really can. I'm surprised the Avs only got 2, though.
I get it. I mean, maybe 2, maybe like a couple more. But I like, how many votes would the Panthers get if they are not coming off a championship? I mean, I don't think it would be 14. Would it still be number one, though? Yes, it's a well-run organization. You're in Florida. If you want to throw the no tax thing in there as a bonus, that's fine. Put the no tax thing in there. But I wonder, like, if they have not won a cup, I always feel like whoever wins the cup is going to be number one on this.
Definitely boosts them.
To me, what's that?
Definitely boosts them.
It does. And to me, that's cheap. That's an escape. Like, I don't want that. Like, I want to beat that team. I don't want to just go join them. I feel like that's the easy way out. I don't like when players do that. Unless it's like, the Joe Thorntons of the world who are trying to find a cup or something like that. Or kind of like what Brent Burns did to an extent with the Avalanche. That I'm okay with.
Yep.
But if you're in like the prime of your career and you're just latching onto the team that just won a Stanley Cup, I get it, but I don't like it. I want to be on a team that's going to defeat them. That's kind of where my mind goes.
It was a lot more fun being the Avalanche stopping the three-peat than it would be like if you got traded to the Avs that year.
Bingo.
That's a lot more fun, I think, than going to Tampa Bay, especially since Tampa Bay lost. But I do think that, like, the cup adds, I think Florida and just being a tropical, whatever, vacation land place to live adds, and the well-runness of the organization adds to it. I was actually pretty surprised to see the Stars that high. I know they're a good team.
They're a good team. Haven't won anything yet.
Exactly.
Maybe that's where I'm thinking maybe the Avalanche should be up there, but maybe like maybe it should be Panthers, and then Golden Knights, and then Avalanche, and then Lightning, because then you're just going backwards from the Stanley Cup winners of the last 5 years. Picture, you know what I mean? So because the Lightning's been a little bit longer, maybe it's lost their luster for a little bit, but no, they're still up there, and that's a Florida team, and that's a well-run organization. So I mean, and you got the Rangers up there too. New York always pulls.
They do.
Always. I thought maybe the Maple Leafs would have a few more, but maybe people just don't want to go there. They don't want to deal with the headache. But the other side of that is
that media.
They don't want the media, but man, if you're on the team that finally breaks that streak of, however many years of not winning a cup, you go down in history.
Oh, when they finally win, and I do think it'll be a win and not an if, but when the Maple Leafs do finally win, the equipment manager is going to be going down in history as part of that team that finally broke that streak. Like, everybody involved will be remembered on that team.
Massive. We'll get one more in, and then we'll get our last break in. And I thought this was an interesting one too, Zach. Not including the current stars. Who's the next face of the NHL? Overwhelmingly, Macklin Celebrini. 24 votes out of 39 responses. He got 24. So you would think, Connor Bedard's in second place. No, he's not. Gavin McKenna is in second place with 4 votes, and then Connor Bedard is down to third. Have we already just given up on Connor Bedard? And is it Connor Bedard or is it the Blackhawks?
I think it's the Chicago effect. I really do. Chicago's been in this weird rebuild for way too long, and I think that they should have had something, I think, a little bit more. The expectations on Bedard, I think, are probably a little too high, and it kind of it does stink for him that it's coming back on him already, where it's like, oh yeah, you're already a factor of 8 times less votes than the guy who got it now. But I do think Chicago is slowly crushing that because they just can't seem to do the other parts of the rebuild right. They're just still stuck in this because they're still expected to be in the bottom of the division this year. So, that's rough for him. But Celebrini, man, he could very well be the real deal. And it seems like the players think the same thing. So I'm just so excited to watch him play this year.
He's a great player. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But I think it's, his first year kind of maybe exceeded the expectations of him as a rookie, where Bedard, it was just like he was never going to exceed them no matter what he did.
No.
expectations were just sky high.
They were.
And the team is not very good. They're not really building around him, but God, like the just he was the face before he even played a game.
I know.
And we already threw him into a Winter Classic, and it was just Bedard, and I get it. I mean, it was overload, and I think that's a part of why it's so low on here right now.
Agreed.
It's because here comes Celebrini, had a really good season, and he's the shiny new toy. And he could have a sophomore slump. We don't know, but he's not there yet. He just had a really good rookie season. And man, to be that far ahead of everybody else, including Bedard, like Bedard is still he's going to be a star. He's just too good. But Chicago can't keep screwing this up. This one shocked me, man. Shocked me. It wouldn't surprise me if Celebrini was number one by a smaller amount.
Yeah.
This one totally threw me for a loop when I saw it was that much.
Yep.
Crazy.
Yeah,
Crazy.
Absolutely wild. I agree. I thought it'd be closer.
All right. Well, let's get our last break in here, and then we got 3 more questions to go about short-term deals. Are they happy with that? Are they happy with the 84-game season? And what other sport are they most looking forward to in the Winter Olympics outside of hockey? So we'll get to those questions right after this. All right, welcome back. Let's just dive right back into this thing, man. So we got the athletic player poll. Which one we got? The short-term deals. Start with that one. Sure, why not? Short-term deals. So there's that one. With the salary cap skyrocketing, are you more open to a short-term deal? Pretty overwhelmingly said yes. 21 votes out of 36 responses said yes. 7 said no, and 8 said they can go either way with it. I think it's one thing to say that you will be more open to it. It's another to actually do that when now will be a 7-year deal is slid across to you. That's stability. And I really wonder how much like that is not something you get on a short 3-year deal. So it sounds nice because, hey, after 3 years and the cap keeps going up, throw me back into unrestricted free agency. And then my deal can go up even higher, but you're running that risk of injury. And if you're not playing up to expectations. So I feel like while I understand how players are saying, like, I'm open to this, I really personally, I don't feel like we're going to see a lot. You'll see some, but I don't think you're going to see a lot because in the long run, especially guys with families, I think they want to stay put for 6 to 7 years and have that stability.
I agree. I think you're probably still going to see a good amount of long-term contracts. I think you will see an increase, maybe not a significant, but an increase of people betting on themselves, saying, okay, couple of years, I'm going to prove it. I'm going to get an even bigger contract, and that's how we're going to go. But like you said, the NHL contract is fully guaranteed. So if you get injured, you're still fully guaranteed. If you only take a shorter contract, well, you're only guaranteed through that shorter term. So sometimes maybe it is just worth it to go with the longer term. It'll be interesting to see how many people actually stick with this. But this is about what I expected the responses.
I feel like the guys who might do the shorter ones, oddly enough, could be the superstars.
Yep.
Because, if they get hurt, someone will still pay for them.
Oh, yeah.
To come. You know what I mean? Like, just let's, you got Kaprizov and although Kaprizov sounds like it's going to an 8-year deal. The one with McDavid sounds like it could be a shorter one. It's on the table. I could see him doing that because if he signs a 3-year deal and then gets hurt and is going to be even out for half of a season the following year, someone is still signing him for max dollars.
Yeah, absolutely.
So I could see it happening with the superstars, with those, elite fourth liners. They're going to want as much term as possible. So
every elite fourth liner will.
Absolutely. 84 game season. What do you think of going to 84 games? overwhelmingly like it. 32
Yep.
out of 39 responses like it. 4 hate it, and 3 have mixed feelings on it. So, I mean, in the end, it's 2 games. I don't think it's that big of a deal. You lose, you get to the season quicker because you're not playing as many preseason games, which, you know, that just, we're all excited for preseason, but then by like the 5th preseason game, we want it over with.
Yep.
So, and I think the players like this. So
that's the key for me, I think, with the players too, is if we're going to be playing this many games anyway, let us make them matter instead of having these preseason games that mean absolutely nothing.
Right.
We watch it in, I think, all sports, really. It feels like preseason is just becoming less and less of a thing that anybody wants to deal with.
Yep.
And because there is no off season like there used to be, right? You don't have guys that get completely out of shape and then need the preseason to get into shape. These guys are still keeping themselves up in tip top shape through the off season.
Yep.
I think this is I understand entirely why this is such a lopsided vote.
Yeah, totally agree with that. No, it's just not a big deal to me.
Nope.
For some reason, people, it is. I just 2 games. I'm okay with it. And then finally, the last question: besides hockey, which Olympic sport are you most looking forward to watching? All skiing events, downhill skiing wins this thing.
Yep.
Snowboarding's on there, cross country skiing, speed skating, biathlon, ski jumping, and other gets 4. In the others, you had women's skiing, skeleton, curling, and bobsled received a vote each. I mean, the correct answer is women's hockey is the correct. I don't think they let them pick that either.
No, I don't think so.
But do you have one? Do you have like a favorite Olympic?
I love all of the downhill skiing, the
Sure.
speed trials and all of that. I'm not a big fan of the subjective ones. Like, I don't like the half pipe being in the Olympics. For snowboard, I'm not a huge fan of that. But
Yeah.
I'll tell you what, once every 4 years, when the Winter Olympics come back around, I become the world's biggest curling fan every single time. They're freaking riveting. And then
That was my vote, man.
I'll never think about it again after that, but it's curling every single time.
Once every 4 years, I care about curling.
Yep.
And if I was given a vote on this, that would have been my vote.
But it's
I'm
not
with
only
you.
like I only care about it once every 4 years. I become like borderline obsessed with it every 4 years. It is so fun to watch. It's wild watching these guys do it.
Yeah.
And then like I don't even think about it until it comes back around.
Nope. It's like, I mean, me being Italian, like we played some bocce in my my household over the years. It's bocce on ice, essentially. Yep. Yeah, I like that. I do like the cross country skiing. I get like I'm in awe of the people who just have like endurance to no end. And when I watch stuff like that, like cross country skiing, like I get tired just watching. I'm like, I don't know how you guys just put your body through the rigors of training for this. I'm just amazed at when I watch them, cross country people. It's incredible to me.
It's crazy.
So.
I will say too, just real quick, one last thing: the ski jump, that one, I got to sit underneath at the bottom of the ski jump in the steamboat this summer, and like that looks big when you watch it, but when you stand at it, my goodness! So that one I'll probably watch a little bit more of this year too, with a even greater appreciation, because I'd seen them from a distance, but I've never stood at it, and that gave me some perspective on that freaking ramp. Man, that thing is crazy, and it looks like you might have frozen up a little bit, so I'm just blown away by the absolute size of that. I think that one probably should have gotten a couple more votes too.
We go up to Lake Placid every year, and when you're driving up the highway, you get off the exit for Lake Placid, and you're kind of like, it's crazy that there was an Olympics in Lake Placid, by the way, because it's such a small like city. It'll never happen again. It's just like one road in, one road out. But as you're like approaching it, the ski jump just ascends out through the trees. Crazy. Like you can just see it. And then I've been there. I've been to the bottom of it and to the top of it, and it's just like, how do you decide this is what you want to do, and how do you start doing this? And how do, like, the first time you're doing it and you're going to land not on I don't know if they land on like when you go to like a ball pit or something like that. Like how is the first time like, okay, I'm going for it. And you're not just like, it's a mindset I could never put myself into.
Special kind of person.
It is. And then like you said, when you're there, when you're at the bottom of it, or go to the top of it, you get to the top of it, you're like, I'm out. I'm out, and I'm fine with heights. Not that.
Nope.
It's crazy. They are crazy people, but you love watching it. So, all right. That will wrap it up for today and for this week, everybody. So thank you for tuning in each and every day. That is always appreciated. We'll be back on Monday, or if anything major happens over the weekend, we'll break in and talk about it. But if not, we'll see you guys on Monday. So enjoy the weekend, stay safe, and we'll be back with a fresh set of episodes next week. For Mr. Zach Pearson, I am Chris Maselli. This is the Locked On Avalanche podcast. Have a good weekend. We'll see you on Monday, where you will have made it through 48 hours. Sidney Crosby is that much closer to being with the Colorado Avalanche.